Hey everybody, welcome back. Today is Thursday, September 6th, 2018. My name is Teri Hunter. I'm an angel therapy practitioner, Reiki master, intuitive guide, and empowerment coach. And I'm here with this week's Messages from Your Angels by Astrological sign. If you'd like to learn more about me, my services, or to book a session with me, please feel free to go to my website at www.terihunter.com. That's TERIHUNTER.com. You can also text me or call me. The phone number is below. Okay, so before I start today, I just wanted to say, hallelujah. Mars is going direct, Mercury's going direct, Saturn will be starting to go direct this weekend, I believe it is. And I want to say this, guys, because it's been a really crazy summer with a lot of crazy astrological dynamics going on, sort of lifting the rug on everybody's life and asking us to look a little bit deeper and to be more accountable for our own happiness. And at the same time, when these planets ease up, it's kind of like, it's similar to like swimming in the ocean. Some days the waters are calmer and some days they're rougher. And it's kind of up to us to make wise choices as we look out into the ocean and decide whether we want to get in. Now, I know that may sound a little funky, but what I'm trying to say is that the energies, the planetary energies they're never just going to fix something. It's not like, oh, yay, Mars is going direct, so everything's going to be hunky-dory now. It's not quite like that. It's just more like it supports our decisions more effectively when the planets are in a harmonious way. Let's put it that way. So if you're still feeling a little bit of disruption, if you're still feeling like things haven't calmed down, I think this is an opportunity to look and say, okay, where can I make different choices? And when I say different, I just mean to try on a new suit, try on a different attitude, a different dynamic, and see if that isn't going to be a little bit more, effectual for calming whatever's going on down. All right, so enough of that. Let's get on with our weekly, I hate the word predictions, guys, because they're not really predictions. What they are sort of, again, these probabilities, this landscape of what the ocean and the seas will be like. And it's up to you guys to choose to make those decisions. Meaning, if the water's really rough, don't go in too deep. Wait, let spirit calm the waters down. And if they're nice and they're smooth, then enjoy it. Swim around, float on your back. I don't know. All these weird metaphors. Okay, let's get on with Aries. Here we go. All right, Aries, what does Spirit have to say for you this week? Okay, our first angel is Ray. The second is Ariel. The third is Omega. And the final is Layla. So with me, Ray on the face of the card always talks about yoga and exercise being essential to one's well-being, which can be the case. But the way the card is depicted is Ray is sitting in a meditative position. She's got her eyes closed in the Om. She has her solar plex chakra coming up through the top of her head, connected to her third eye, along with her heart chakra and her throat chakra. This is really a time of connection to spirit. This is a time of surrender in some respects. And when I say surrender, it's not necessarily about giving up. It's about being so close to something that you can't actually see a way out just yet. So stepping back from it will allow spirit to open up and give you a new experience, because I have Ariel in the opportunity or the obstacle. Ariel says that new psychic and spiritual experiences are changing the way you view the world. The word psychic is, again, kind of gets up my grill a little bit because it feels disempowering. As we pay attention to the energy that we are sending out into the universe, the attitudes, the beliefs, the dispositions, that's where I think we start to see the psychic part come in, because we start to see a buildup of those attitudes create a certain outcome, and then it creates that outcome again and again and again. So as you're aware of this, Aries, you become victorious. I have Omega in the angel's advice. And this is not about victory over the situation. It's not about victory over another person. It's about awareness. It's about starting to see the ebb and the flow. When I'm relaxed and I get in my car, I get all green lights. When I'm rushed and I'm in a hurry, I get all red lights. Why is that? Because there's a certain energy that you're going into that dynamic with. Our final card here is Layla, and Layla is always my walking meditation. To me, that walking meditation offers spirit an opportunity to use nature to give me signs and omens that I am on the path or I'm not. Whenever I see something 3 times, let's say, for instance, you're driving in your car and you see 10:11 on the clock. Then a few hours later, you're walking past another clock and it's 1:11. Start paying attention to that, because that's spirit saying, what are you thinking right now? Because your thoughts are contributing to your experience. We're always rubbing up against different dynamics. We have our astrological dynamics. We have the dynamics of other people being in our world, having their attitudes that will affect our attitudes. But as we are aware of how we want to show up, how do I want to be in this situation? Then we have some power. We have some way of, I don't know, it's kind of like, when I think about it, when I'm choosing how I show up, then it really doesn't matter how the other person or the other dynamic is, because I'm more focused in on me and me being proud of me. All right, let's go on to Taurus. All right, Taurus. All right. Our first angel is Adriana. Second is Ariel again. The third is Seraphina. And the final angel is Mystique. So Adriana always tells me that she's leading me towards the answers to my prayers through my thoughts, my intuitions, and my dreams. I'll say this about my thoughts. Sometimes I'll have a thought about something and it doesn't necessarily agree with what I want. It doesn't necessarily agree with what my eyes see or with what I wish would happen. So I don't necessarily pay attention all the time. And I feel like, Taurus, it's time to be brave about what you see, what you feel, what you think. And that may scare you a little bit. You may be unsure as a result of that. But I have Ariel, again, she was here for Aries. New psychic and spiritual experiences are changing the way you view the world. The psychic part is really more about energetic. It's as you pay attention to those thoughts and you kind of assess whether those thoughts, am I actually trusting the thoughts? Am I acting on those thoughts? And are those thoughts, those dreams, those pullings in my gut, do they scare me or do they excite me? Even if I'm a little scared, because I have Seraphina in the angel's advice saying that there's a happy change to your family. And then in the final position, I have Mystique saying to keep charging ahead and expect miraculous solutions. I don't think that Taurus is always going to know what's going to happen. I feel like there's a certain amount of allowing myself to be led by trusting a deeper knowing. And if I'm not sure if I trust it, give spirit an opportunity to confirm or deny your thoughts or your feelings. I feel like over this last year, for some reason, my heart always really goes out to Taurus as having a really challenging year. Just a lot of upheaval, a lot of sort of moving old energies out to bring new energies in that are more aligned to your happiness. And sometimes that doesn't always feel good. It's the snake, I don't imagine feels very good when it's shedding its skin. I imagine that chick is pecking out of that shell, that eggshell, thinking, oh no, I need air, same thing with the caterpillar. So if you give yourself permission to know you've been going through a bit of a metamorphosis yourself this year and really asking spirit to confirm those feelings, those thoughts, those dreams, give me a sign that says, yes, this is how I'm interpreting it and this is what they mean. And I think as you do that, you will find that you are more in alignment with your happiness and future happiness than you realize. All right, let's go on to Gemini. All right, what does Spirit have to say for you this week, Gemini? Our first angel is Crystal, and our second is Athena. The third is Merlina, and the final is Bethany. Okay, so this is the thing, Gemini. I believe that whether you realize it or not, there are things that have been happening behind the scenes, let's put it that way. Crystal represents having faith because there's more than you can see on the horizon. As we have a continued line of thought, as we continue to ring the bell of a certain dynamic, that starts to come into play in the universe. A few years ago, well, it was more than a few years ago now, I just kept telling the universe I wanted to wipe the slate clean. I think I might have said that every day for 2 years. And next thing I know, in a move, the moving van was stolen and everything I owned was lost. So we wiped the slate clean. So what I'm trying to say for you, Gemini, is that as you're mindful of the things that you want, and as you purport to Spirit how it feels, having that faith that, oh, this is how it feels once this dynamic is in play, once I've gotten that promotion in my job, or once I've created that relationship. Spirit then gets a signal to I don't know, I kind of want to say to put things in motion even quicker, faster. There is a dynamic that when we are vacillating back and forth and we're telling Spirit that we want one thing, but when we're so scared we're not going to get it, that becomes the dominant thought. So I have Athena saying it's safe for you to lovingly assert yourself in the direction of the things that you want to experience in this lifetime. In the Angel's Advice, I have Merlina is basically a card of indecision, saying that you need to seek expert advice or do a little bit more research. But to me, this is really more in relation to Athena. In the research, the experience being, okay, I'm going to have faith that, Crystal is offering me that rather than whatever the bad story is or the challenging story or the story I don't win wholeheartedly in, I'm going to go to the other side of the fence and I'm going to use that and lovingly assert myself there and see what happens rather than trying to force yourself to move yourself, because Bethany is here asking you to take care of yourself. And on the face of the card, she'll talk about a manicure, pedicure, a massage, but really in relation to Crystal, the taking care of yourself is thinking, hey, you know what? If I want this, why can't I have it? Why can't it be me? Because the human experience will almost always tell us that there's struggle attached to something, that we don't deserve something, that it's hard to find that relationship, that job, that whatever the dynamic you want is. So Gemini, in your twinsy little brains, it's time to start to really put some weight on the side that you win, on the side that because maybe this particular situation didn't work out doesn't mean that what you want isn't going to happen. It may mean that the dynamics of this particular situation don't fit what you really want. So Spirit in some ways is making sure that you don't make a decision or move in a direction that it doesn't actually serve you. All right, let's go on to Leo. All right, my Leos. Okay, our first angel is Mystique. The second is Maya. The third is Opal. And the final is Chantal. Okay, my Leos. Mystique is a magical unicorn saying that keep charging ahead, expect miraculous solutions, don't take no for an answer. For me, a miracle is really simply alignment without the dual thought. It is where I have the majority of my thought, the larger percentage of faith and belief in what I want to have. So let's just say you're going to Costco and you've gotten really used to, oh, I always get parking spaces. I always get parking spaces. All I have to do is say thanks. And that belief is so wholehearted that you always get parking spaces. Well, I want to say this for you, my Leos. It's time to turn it up a notch, because Maya is here in the opportunity obstacle saying now employ that very dynamic into something you really want, the thing that maybe you're not sure you can get. It's kind of like, the universe is impartial. It has no judgment, really, because we never get it wrong, we never get it right, we never die. It's just contrasting experiences that either serve what we want or don't serve what we want. And the universe, in its infinite wisdom, will allow us, just like a parent will allow a child to fall down as it learns to walk, because if it doesn't fall down, it will never learn to walk. The universe will allow us to fall down. So when we go to Mystique and we say, okay, I'm focused. I know there could be potential challenges, but instead of focusing on the challenges of what I want, I'm going to focus in on what it feels like to actually experience it. And then I use Maya as my teacher, that I see my own energy, my own level of belief. Where is it at? Because I've got Opal in the Angel's Advice, and this is the innocence of a child here. This is where it comes in play with the schooling and education card that Maya provides, because Maya is giving you an education in your own energy, your own belief, your own percentage of what you believe. So often in my work, many of my clients will say, I believe, but I'm not getting the results I want. I'm not getting the results I want. And I hate to say it, but you've got to examine that belief, because if you believe 10, 20, 30%, that's great. But that means that we've got 90, 80, 70% of struggle, resistance. Will it happen? Won't it happen? That's where the innocence of a child comes in, and that's what Opal offers us. And then I have Chantal in the final position, and Chantal is traditionally a romance angel. She'll talk about the resurgence of your current relationship or a new relationship coming in, which may be appropriate for you. But at the same time, I believe that applying this energetic dynamic to really paying attention to the dual thought, what is the percentage, and then upping the ante on the things that you want will make Leo fall in love with Leo just a little bit more. And in that way, you'll be drawing in others who will appreciate and love you even more. It'll put you in a more joyous energy in any case. All right, let's go on to Virgo. All right, Virgo. It's a new moon this Sunday, I believe the 9th, September 9th. It's in your sign. I didn't mention that for anybody else. New moons are always about new, creating new. So declarations to the universe about what you'd like to experience moving forward will be probably pretty cool for you. All right, so our first angel is Isabella. I'm sorry, I got distracted for a second. Isabella jumped out of the deck. The second is Yvonne. The third is Archangel Uriel, and the final is Merlina. Okay, you know, Virgo, I don't recall from week to week what I say for y'all, but if indeed you've experienced this summer of struggle, of stop, of Saturn's energy restricting, really kind of putting a big cog in the wheel, you know, trying to roll your wheel on sand, now I think things are going to start to move forward. And I've got Isabella saying, yes, the timing is right for this new venture. A happy outcome follows your positive expectation. And I'm going to jump to the fourth card here because Merlina is a card of confusion and indecision. It's saying you don't have enough information. But I think what this is talking about is that because it's been such a rough summer, you're having a little bit of trouble kind of lining up with what it is that you want. So I'm going to back up. So I've got Isabella saying yes, things are going to start to move forward. Saturn is moving forward. We are going to start to see movement in many of our efforts. I've got Yvonne in the opportunity, the obstacle. She's always a card that says be vulnerable to the bigger picture of what you want. Be vulnerable to believing you deserve, you can achieve, you can get the things that you desire. You know, sometimes I get so frustrated with the human experience because we are pummeled on a daily basis, if not hourly, with commercials, ads, and input that says we can't, that we have to struggle, there's so much fear that we experience. And I don't want to push back on the fear. I just want to start to use it to work for me because I've got Archangel Uriel in the Angel's Advice, and he talks about helping us deal with this energies on a subtle way. He helps us deal with the energies of anger, frustration, unforgiveness, just so we're just all bunched up. And this is where I want to go back to Yvonne saying, hey, maybe if I start to focus in on, maybe I will win. Maybe I will get what I want. Maybe I will sell that house. Maybe I'm not going to go down the drain with everything that I've been saving. It's kind of like flipping the script. because then I go back to Isabella and Merlina in the first and the fourth position, which is really kind of an opportunity for you to learn and for you to experience. And when I say learn, I kind of feel a little weird because I don't really think we're here to learn. I think we're here to remember the truth of who we are, that we are creative beings in every way. And as we play to that, we play to the joy in our hearts. And as we play to the joy in our hearts, we manifest even more quickly. So this is really a magical realm if we would just get out of our own way. Well, I guess that's what evolution's for, huh? All right, let's go on to Libra. All right, my fellow Librans, what's up for us this week? We really should always look at our ascendant first. It's really the most powerful. I'm an Aries ascendant and a Taurus moon. It's actually pretty funny because so many people in my family are a Taurus moon. Hot bulls. All right, let's go on Libra. Our first card is Adriana. The second is Aurora. The third is Isabella. And the final card is Athena. Wow, so we got three A names. So Adriana is leading us towards the answers to our prayers and our dreams. This summer, I have to say for me personally, I found that when I was in a frustrating place or when I was in a place that felt like I was talking to walls instead of actually people understanding what I was saying in my personal life, it helped me to find something to focus in on, and that has been studying astrology. Sometimes when we're in a situation where there's either no movement or we're confused or we're sort of waiting for other things to happen, if we can find a place to put our focus, a place that somehow creates some sort of neutrality in our brains versus contemplating back and forth the potentials. Because Adriana is saying here that she's leading us to the answers to our dreams, what we desire, what we want to experience, what we want to bring forth into this world. And she's doing that. She's subtly urging us through those thoughts, those dreams, those intuitions. And when I say dreams, I mean literally your nighttime dreams. I have Aurora, who's in the opportunity, the obstacle, and she's sort of like, to me, she's become, defying gravity from Wicked, because she's flying off this balcony and she's taking a leap of faith, and that leap of faith is in herself. And, other people may not understand that, but it's important to continue. It's important to trust yourself, because Isabella is saying, yes, the timing is right for this new venture. And this is about you, Libra. This is about what you want. This is not about considering everybody else right now, because I have Athena in the final position, and she's saying that it's safe for you to lovingly assert yourself. And I want to offer this because oftentimes when we over-consider the peanut gallery and other people, we're never going to get anywhere. Libra's been notoriously labeled indecisive, but I think that's because there's just too much consideration going on. And I'm not trying to be rude to other people, but if I'm going to experience what I want, there's a part of me that has to say, without anybody else's input, what is it that I want? And as I move forward, I can set an example for myself that makes me proud of what I'm doing, even if other people don't understand it. And I'm not talking about trying to ruffle feathers. I'm just saying that we all have a right to live our lives the way we want to live them. And it's time to take our power back and to do just that. Live your life as you see fit. All right, guys, let's go on to Scorpio. All right, my Scorpios. What is up for you? All right, first angel is Opal. The second is Fiona. The third is Shanti. And the final is Archangel Gabriel. Well, this is kind of a nice week. All the cards are just slightly different. All the angels are coming out. So Opal is a card about children, saying your children are safe on heaven and in earth, and God is watching over them. As a collective, when I'm doing this with such a large group of potential people, I think that's the inner child. And I think what Opal is offering is your dreams are safe. And they're like little seedlings. And it's really important to, in that infantile stage, in the embryonic stage, to very much care for those dreams and those desires. And I have Fiona in the opportunity of the obstacle saying, now that you've asked God and the angels for help, be open to receiving that help. Sometimes when we get help, it comes in the form of a disruption. It comes in the form of moving an energy out that has not served our happiness, although we might have thought it would be. I have Shanti in the angel's advice. Shanti's the angel of peace. But before that peace can come in, before Fiona can bring in, and Opal, and now Archangel Gabriel, bringing in those things you want, that loving relationship, that career move that makes your heart sing. It has to move some things out. So let's say, you've had a day job and you're going to make, your $1,000 a week. But if you really want to go for that dream, you've got to give up that day job, because you can't do both, because your energies are fragmented. So this is about thinking outside the box. This is about allowing spirit to lead you. So you say to them, okay, provide me with an opportunity that will support me while I move towards the things that I want. And then out of nowhere, you get a call from somebody who offers you a random job that pays great money and you don't have as many hours to work. Because in the final position, I have Archangel Gabriel. And in this position, I always think of her as a feminine energy. I just can't imagine the four biggies, all men. It just doesn't seem right. So when I look at this, on this particular card, she talks about having a divine life's purpose in the arts and communication. I think everything has a potential to be art, even accounting. I mean, it's creativity. It's how you do it. But in this particular case, I really think, Scorpio, she's talking about how you communicate with yourself and the permissions that you give yourself to believe beyond what you can see, what you can touch, what you can taste, what you've experienced. And to really kind of come clean with the dynamics in your life that are out of balance. Because if you're brave enough to do as Fiona says and allow and be open to receiving, and then letting Shanti move out the energy that isn't serving you. And that may be something that you think you want, but long term, it may not really serve that happiness. So it's about being brave in the face of your own desires. All right, guys, let's go on to Sagittarius. All right, my Sagittarius. Athena is in the first position. Serafina is in the second. Francesca is in the third. And Serena is in the final position. We'll get quite a diverse angels this week, which is nice. Okay, so Athena is saying that it's safe for you to lovingly assert yourself. Again, I'm just always going to sound like a broken record, because I think the reason God created reincarnation is because we just don't get it right in one lifetime. We're afraid to assert ourselves. We're afraid to ruffle other people's feathers. And I think that the key here with Athena is about lovingly asserting myself, not about feeling defensive or having to prove my point, but standing in what I want is what I want. It just is what it is. Because I have Serafina here who talks about a happy change coming to your family. And it could be a child. That is what it does represent traditionally. But, as a collective, this is to me about birthing an idea. This is about me allowing myself the privilege of thinking that if I really want something, if I really focus in on that, I can bring it forth. Because Francesca's in the angel's advice asking you to what are you visualizing right now? Because negativity will block your progress. But this is what I want to say about negativity. Because negativity, to combat it, most people go, I'm going to be positive in the face of negativity. But that is that positivity in and of itself is negativity, because it's a resistant energy to being negative. So to Athena, going back to Athena, lovingly asserting yourself is giving yourself permission to weigh the options. This is not about walking around in a bubble. Oh, I'm just going to think good thoughts and good things are going to happen. No, it's not. It's about being able to look at it, assess it, and then decide with some vigor, with some little punch behind it, that you're going to believe beyond what you can see. Because I have Seraphina here, and I have Serena in the final position. Serena is saying the money that you need is coming. So this lovingly asserting yourself, and I want to say this about money, because it's not always just about money. It's about resources. It's about Spirit bringing you the dynamics you need to move your story forward. It may be in the form of trades. It may be in the form of favors. It may be in the form of gifts. We just don't know. So when you're contemplating the things you want, Sagittarius, it's lovingly asserting yourself into that vibration. If I could imagine this, I can be it. And then taking one little step at a time, so that you feel comfortable, so that you can assess, am I feeling scared and negative? Because if we move too fast towards something, there always comes a spot where we just kind of go, and then we get like almost feel like a deer in the headlights as I said that. So just slowly, methodically stand in the vibration of what it is you want, hold the line, see your value, and know that Spirit supports that. Okay, let's go on to Capricorn. Okay. All right, Capricorn. Our first angel is Isaiah. The second is Aurora. The third is Vanessa. And the final is Ray. Okay, so Capricorn, I really think that this, Isaiah talks about giving birth to new ideas and new situations and knowing that God and the angels are watching over you and protecting you during these changes. Your Saturn is moving forward. Your ruler is finally moving forward. So I really think that if you have felt thwarted in moving things forward over this last summer, last 5 months, it's been a challenging year. I'm not going to say it hasn't, but I believe that you're going to start to see things moving and opening up a little bit. I've got Aurora. She, again, is like that defying gravity from Wicked. She's jumping off this balcony, kind of spreading her wings and flying. And Spirit is saying that she sets an example by sort of being a trailblazer. And in being a trailblazer, it is really in relation to Vanessa in the angel's advice. It's about faith. Faith is unwavering. Faith says, yes, it's going to happen. Hope says, yeah, I hope somebody comes in and saves my butt. So I really want to offer this to you, Capricorn. You're very determined little goats. God bless you. I love you so much, truly. I'm really, almost every boyfriend I've ever had has been a Capricorn, so love you. But it's time for you to, I've got Ray here, and this is not about yoga. This is about shifting your power center, lovingly talking to yourself, sort of saying, okay, I know this didn't work and this didn't, maybe move forward, reassessing things, and then taking methodical action. So I want to offer this. What is your attitude, your disposition as you're endeavoring your action? Being mindful of that will make whatever action you take more effective. All right, let's go on to Aquarius. All right, Aquarius. Our first angel is Shanti. The second is Azure. The third is Seraphina. And the final is Bethany. All right. So Shanti is the angel of peace, the angel of harmony. And as I've said a million times, before that peace and that harmony can come in, we really have to remove the things that are disrupting that peace and that harmony. And sometimes that can be a slightly uncomfortable feeling. So it's very important for us to be able to keep our eye on the prize of the things that we want. I've got Azure and the opportunity, the obstacle, saying your desired outcome will happen in the near future. Have patience and faith and don't try to force it. This is sort of about kind of like being at In-N-Out Burger and putting your order in and saying, okay, now I just have to wait till I get to the other window and slowly creep your way through the drive-thru, because God knows In-N-Out Burger is slow, especially at lunchtime. I've got Seraphina in the angels' advice in relation to Azure, and that talks about a happy change to your family. And I really believe that this is right now talking about having a bigger picture of things, and knowing that you are experiencing or implementing or driving the bus of your own happiness, and it's important for you to do that rather than staying in dynamics that don't serve that, because Bethany is in the final position. And as you take good care of yourself, and this is not, I can always go to the physical, but this is a spiritual card for me. This is an emotional card. This is a mental card. This is a card that when I look at it, I say, okay, what's the bigger picture of things? Because there's always going to be some disruption. There's always going to be something that's out of alignment. It's the human experience. But as I show up in a way that makes me proud, as I'm mindful and conscious of how I want to be, and that doesn't mean the other person or the other side of the situation will like it. It just means that I get to be proud of me. I get to stand in alignment for me. And in doing so, I allow Shanti to bring me that peace that I need. Because living a life of obligation is erosive, and I believe contributes to our ill health. And if you look at people who are the happiest, they're the people driving the bus of their own lives. And it's not to run over others. It's just to make sure you get where you want to go. All right, let's go to our final sign, Pisces. All right, my Pisces, what's up for you this week? First angel is Caressa. The second is Sonia. The third is Archangel Raphael. And the final is Archangel Michael. This is really interesting. This week, each sign, with maybe the exception of the first few, all the cards are different. Usually, you guys, it's been sort of this weird collective. Okay, so Caressa talks about being at the end of a life cycle, and that the angels are comforting you as you go through this metamorphosis, and that they say that new happiness awaits you. I have Sonia here, which can represent a deceased loved one, saying they're at peace, but I think that this is your guides that are offering, saying that we're here for you. And I want to offer this idea too, because as I look back at Caressa and I see myself going through a metamorphosis, sometimes even when a dynamic isn't working out for us, or it isn't really serving our happiness, it doesn't mean that we won't be sad that that dynamic has to transform into a different dynamic, or a different thing, a different place, the back burner. Because really what I'm seeing here, I've got Archangel Raphael in relation to Sonia, and I've got Archangel Michael. It really feels like for Pisces right now that this life cycle is about being brave in the face of the unknown, in the face of certain endings, certain culminations. And sometimes we've been working towards a project and we get it completed and we're excited that it's completed, but then it creates a crisis because we don't know where we're going next. When I look at this, I really feel like for Pisces, maybe it's a little bit of a week to really connect with spirit. Really connect with your personal guides and angels. Talk to Archangel Raphael so that you can see where the next move is. What's the next mountain that you want to climb? And then talk to Archangel Michael about being brave. Because I think sometimes it takes us being brave to say, I'm not ready to climb another mountain just yet. I need a rest. I need to recalibrate. And that's okay. So Pisces, you know, it's interesting for me this week because it almost feels like, I don't know quite how to put it, a rest stop maybe, you know, kind of assimilating what you've been through this summer, what it's offered you, what tools you've extracted from the experience, and then giving yourself permission to rest, relax, assimilate what that is, and then allow yourself to take guided action moving forward. Because I think that things are going to get a little bit more exciting for Pisces coming up. I think 2019 might be an interesting year for you all. All right, That's it for this week, guys. Again, my name is Teri Hunter. I'm an angel therapy practitioner. You can learn more about me and my services on my website at www.terihunter.com. That's TERIHUNTER.com. Or if you like, you can give me a text or a call. My number is 949-903-3385. And be mindful, I'm in the Pacific time zone, so please don't text me in the middle of the night. Okay, guys, I'll see you next week. Have a wonderful new moon on Sunday, the 9th. Bye-bye.